The more life that I'm blessed to be able to live, the more I realize that many of us really don't know what the heck we're doing. And I know it may seem like an obvious statement, right? For the most part, we're all just really making it up as we go along. Literally, everybody on the planet is doing that, but it stinks because so many of us get caught up in other people's ideas about how life should be. We take on other people's ideas of success. We take on other people's ideas of what wealth and affluence is, what freedom means. But in this video, I want to talk to you about redefining what abundance is for you. Because you hear it a lot in the manifestation space, right? A lot of the reality creation, your thoughts create your world type space. You hear a lot of talk about living from abundance, creating abundance. Yo, for real, abundance isn't something that has to be created, right? Here's why. How many breaths do you think you've taken in your life up to now, right? How many times does your heart beat today alone? Just simply being able to breathe, just simply having a heartbeat is abundance. It's life. It's literally the energy of all things. Now, I get it, right? A heartbeat isn't $1 million in the bank. And it's not your heartbeat that's killing you. It's the fact that you can't pay the rent. It's the fact that they're about to come get the car. Been there. But I can tell you without a doubt in my mind that tapping into the already flow of abundance that is, and not looking to create a new stream of abundance, is the way forward. And to access it, I mean, low key, it doesn't take anything really mystical, or there's nothing metaphysical about it. It's just coming to the realization of what already is. Think about it. Right now, throughout the world, there are millions, if not billions, of fruit trees that humans will never eat from. Now, I can't prove that, right? But I would think that there are fruit trees that humanity knows nothing about, right? There are animals that humanity will never lay eyes on, more or less taste. You feel me? There's so much life in this world alone. We're not even considering the universe. There is so much life in this world that to believe in lack and limitation is truly a handicap to playing this game. And somebody's bewitched you, you've been beguiled, you've been bamboozled, been run amok, and they got you. Well, if you're still here, this is going to set you free. Because at the end of the day, coming to the realization that you already have all that you need, it's really an instant cheat code. It is the quickest way that I have found to coming out of that element of survival, right? Because again, I mean, I've talked about it in other videos, the times when I couldn't pay the rent. And I got my wife looking at me like, hey, what are we gonna do? No, what are you gonna do? Is what she would be saying to me. And in those moments, in one moment in particular, I was brought literally to the edge of my rope, to the point where I'm over at my parents' house. Nobody else was there, but I'm laid out on the living room floor crying because I didn't know how I was going to move forward. I felt like the world was against me. I felt like I had the weight of the entire world on my back and nobody to help me. When it was in that moment where I had to dig deeper than I had ever dug before to really access this flow that had been there the entire time. Right? It was as if God had reached down or had reached up through me to grab my attention and say, "Hey, like you're not just getting here by yourself, but you've arrived with a team of assistants." Right? If you would come to the recognition that you already are equipped for this journey, which is the reason why you're here, if you would recognize this, everything's going to turn out okay. I mean, no matter what, it's always going to turn out okay in the end. And if it's not okay, then it's not the end. I saw that on a T-shirt once. But I'm being serious though, right? Abundance is literally all around. It is the water we swim in. We literally we traffic in abundance, even if it's not an abundance of money like we want, even if it's not the large house, if it's not the big family, if it's not the love relationship, if it's not the job we want, we are still trafficking in an abundance, right? In that case, it might be an abundance of a perception of lack, but there's always abundance, no matter what. And when we can bring ourselves to begin to focus on the good that we do have and desire, right? When we can begin to express that gratitude for the things that already are manifest in our life. And this doesn't mean that we completely ignore the things that are becoming, the things that are in creation, right? We can have gratitude for what is and still set our sights on what's being created. Because ultimately, that's what keeps driving us forward is that connection between the gratitude and the future creation. Because something else, and this is a bit more of a metaphysical concept, understanding that what exists in our mind in the future is a present reality. So if we can conceive it in our minds, right? If we can create it here and live from that place of imagination, that imaginary scene becomes a present reality to be grateful for. So immediately you can become a millionaire. Immediately you can become a great parent and have amazing children. Immediately you can have the romantic relationship or the job or be living in that country that you want to be living in right now. Because I don't want to call it a disconnect, but a delay, right? There's a delay between the conception of a creation and its manifestation. We all recognize this, right? But it's maintaining that connection to the present abundance that is right now. Even if it's only created mentally, that mental creation is as authentic as the world that you can put your hands on. If, as a matter of, if not more real, because anything that's material is going to fade. Anything that is manifest in the 3D world is going to eventually disintegrate, is going to die. Right? That is the very nature of birth. But we're not going to talk about that here. But we do recognize it as being an actual reality. So if you caught anything in this ramble, right? I hope it is that you understand abundance already is. Abundance isn't something you go get. Abundance is not something that you need to wait to fall upon you. It's not going to happen that way. There's only been one way that anyone has ever received anything. There's only been one way somebody has created anything in their life. There's only been one way anyone has ever manifested anything, and that has always been by having it. In the Bible, I think it's somewhere in the book of Matthew, Jesus told a parable, and at the end, right, one of the characters in the parable, or Jesus kind of summed it up when he said, "To the one who has, more will be given, and to the one who doesn't have, even what they do have will be taken away." Seems crazy, right? I know it, but that is the key. To the one who has, more will be given. So if you can have it now, if you can be it now, if you can recognize it as being a part of your reality now, even if it's just in mind, it already is. And here's another hack, if you will. You don't want the money. No. You don't want the money, you don't want the love, you don't want the attention. You want what the money, the love, and the attention will bring you, which ultimately is fulfillment and satisfaction with life. So, can you find it in yourself to be fulfilled and satisfied with life as it is? Because again, to the one who has, more will be given. To the one who doesn't have, even what they do have will be taken away. I think in that it's easy to see the cycles that get created, right? When we live out of and through a perception of lack and limitation, We seem to end up in this cycle of loss, right? It's just over and over and over again. We find ourselves just looping around and around the same circumstances and situations, and it doesn't seem to have any logical reason to it. And even on the flip side, there are those who perpetually seem to get lucky, or they're always winning, or they're always expanding and growing and quantum leaping in their life, and it doesn't make sense. This is why you're living from lack. They're living from a sense of already having a sense of possibility. And that's really the key, man. If we can bring ourselves to realize that this world operates beyond what we've been told, man, there will be nothing that can stop us from creating anything that we want in our lives. I promise you. I promise you.